Okay, so Luigi's Mansion 2 has some ghosts that I guess are sort of maybe, possibly portrait ghost-ish if you squint from a mile away. So we have the Gobber, a bigger guy. Gee, I wonder if LM1 did this better. Okay, but then we have the Poltergeist, a ghost who plays the piano. Gee, I wonder if LM1 did this better. We have the Polterpup, who's... Actually, that's kind of a good character. I mean, I was going to point out that LM1 had a ghostly dog named Spooky and do that same line again and just like freak out or something as a joke, but it's the Polterpup. It's too cute. I'll give you guys that one. Then there are the Three Sisters, which is a type of unique ghost not seen in Luigi's Mansion 1, though I honestly cannot stand this fight. I mean, maybe I'm just dumb, but this fight was really not intuitive to figure out what to do. It felt like any method of attack I could come up with either didn't work or worked if I prayed to the freaking skies above at a 5% chance. Eventually, I had to look it up, and it was kind of more my fault than the game's, since basically you're supposed to let them spin a lot more than I did. So whatever, I won't go into one of my controversial tangents about how this boss is bad, even though it's completely my fault. But regardless, I'll give Luigi's Mansion 2 this boss as a unique set of characters that could maybe rival the portrait ghosts. And that's the only one. Like, outside of these, there's a recurring mini-boss named the Possessor, and... Okay, I don't think this even remotely makes up the argument for LM2's ghost diversity, so if you were about to bring this up, feel embarrassed. So yes, I've talked about this in my previous Luigi's Mansion video and even a little bit here, but portrait ghosts are so inherently important to Luigi's Mansion's distinctive identity. And this sort of just goes with the theme of the first game. You were in one mansion, it was all connected, blah, blah, blah. You get it by now. The thing is though, the portrait ghost added so much to the game, and even the Three Sisters and the piano ghost and the dog just don't come close to the same motif. Firstly, let's just talk about the gameplay perspective of the portrait ghost before we get to the lore and aspects and stuff that's a little more subjective. Without portrait ghosts, I feel like Luigi's Mansion 1 would have been a completely different game, and a completely different game for the worse. It wasn't just the fact that they looked unique, it was the fact that each ghost provided a really new twist to the formula. I mean, no two portrait ghosts were alike, well, except for the twins. And the triplets. Okay, no fight was alike. Every ghost had their unique way about going about beating them, and it really did a lot to break up the monotony of the game. Maybe you had to play pool with Slam Bank Shot, or shoot balls of yarn at Nana, or light Mr. Lug's candle on fire to scare him into the butler's quarters. That's just not nice. So the gameplay was not only fantastic and thought-provoking, but special, as I've been saying. These characters all added to the lore and contributed to the world as well. There is some in-game lore for the very few unique ghosts in Luigi's Mansion 2, but look at these side by side and tell me they hit the same. Even the goon ghosts we have here... Scrap that word. I forgot that word has been ruined by the internet. Okay. Even the generic ghosts are so much worse here. In LM1, they were kind of cutesy, but still threatening. Like, you took them seriously. At least I did. The ghosts in Luigi's Mansion 2 are basically the equivalent to the minions from the Despicable Me franchise, or similar to the Rabbids. You know, that type of character. I mean, it's a type of archetype that I feel appeals to children a lot more than someone my age. It's hard for me to take characters or enemies seriously or feel invested in them when the entire purpose is, haha, please laugh. Haha, are you laughing? Haha, please tell me you are laughing. They are funny, to be fair, and I do smirk a bit while peeping through the game's weirdly consistent holes and walls, but I just don't care for enemies that are here just for the lols. It just feels like, to me, Luigi's Mansion 2 doesn't want to be taken seriously. Like, the developers, I could tell, are having a good old time and yucking it up as they make these scenarios, but Luigi's Mansion 1 was designed as a game meant to have some sort of meaning to it. I mean, there's upside to this too. Luigi himself is really funny and really well animated, as well as Charles Martinet giving a brilliant performance as a character. And the music is very, very different than LM1. It has all sorts of songs for each and every scenario, compared to LM1 having just one, which is supposed to be a little more ambient and scary. But net, this new tone for Luigi's Mansion just isn't it.